just hit ping. Poof. There we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the show. I am your host, as always, J Villain, aka That Villain J. And tonight we have a little bit of a treat for you. I am doing the Friday Night at Home Historic Pauper. Now, I tried to do these a little earlier, but I was unable to get to it. But I'm still going to do the deck. Why? Well, because I think it's a good deck. Now, the fun thing about Pauper, if I can tell you for a second, this is a great way. It's uncommon cards only. I mean, common cards only. Common, the cheapest card there is. This is a great way to get introduced to Magic. If you have some friends that aren't sure about Magic, make 2 Pauper decks. Generally, the mechanics on them are much easier. If people want to buy a deck or loan a deck, you don't have to worry about losing valuable cards. It's a great way to introduce friends to Magic. It's a great way to get into Magic. It's a great way to learn Magic. I really like the format. So I've made here a little red deck. Just really threw it together pretty quick. Nothing too fancy. A little bit of burn, a little bit of haste. It's very, very basic to learn from. So it's a great starter deck. And I think that it's a good one to try to give to somebody if they want to try Arena for the first time, if they want to try to play in paper for the first time. It's very, very cheap. So this is Pauper Historic. Let's take a look. I already played through the games. I'm making this intro afterwards. So I think we're going to call this deck Quickfire. And I'm making it afterwards. Of course, before we get started, I want you to do something for me, guys. Please tenderly press that like button. Gently press that subscribe button. Don't smash it. Don't destroy it. Don't blow it up. That's a little bit too much. Just be easy with it. Or else the like and subscribe will come and get you. So you got to watch out for that. Join us on our stream every night at twitch.tv/thatvillainj for all the live streaming goodness. You can check out our Discord community, where we have plenty of people here to help you if you want to learn how to build a deck or have any questions. Additionally, all my decks, Pauper and beyond, are available on AetherHub down in the description below. So let's get down to the explanation. Ghitu Lavarunner was from Dominaria, and I love this one in a Is It Wizard deck. As long as there are 2 or more instants of sorceries in your graveyard, Ghitu gets +1 in S-Haste. So he in the late game can also be pretty hasty. A 2/2 haster is very useful. I love him. Goblin Arsonist, unbelievably useful. When he dies, you may have him deal 1 damage to any target. What that means is that he can block a 2/2 creature, and he can kill it. How can he kill it? Well, if he blocks, he does 1 damage, and then after the damage is resolved, he can do another damage to it. He can also really go in for the kill if he does 1 damage, and then he can basically throw himself at somebody and do direct damage to face directly to your opponent. Samut Sprint was one that I was very much interested in using a lot in War of the Spark. That's a lot of utility for 1 red mana. +2 haste, +2/+1 haste, and scry 1. You get to look at a little bit of your top card and get a little bit more aggression on there. Scorch Spitter was the classic guy to have when you had Cavalcade of Calamity out, which basically was Scorch Spitter and an enchantment. Unfortunately, that's an uncommon. We still do have this elemental lizard. Whenever it attacks, it deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker it's attacking. So it will do direct damage even though it doesn't hit. A lot of utility for a 1-drop. Shock. What do I always say? 1 red mana, 2 damage, 6 words. Couldn't be more basic. 2 damage to any target on the board. You can't go wrong. Tormentor's Helm is a newer one out of the Kaldheim set. +1/+1, and it basically turns anything into a type of Scorch Spitter. So whenever equipped creature becomes blocked, it deals 1 damage. So whenever Scorch Spitter attacks, it can do 1 damage, and when it gets blocked, it does 1 damage. So you're really kind of hitting him at both ends if you have Tormentor's Helm. Nest Robber is a very aggressive one. A 2/1 2-drop. Really pushing tempo here. So anytime you can do 2 damage almost immediately on turn 2 is very effective. Omen of the Forge is another 2 damager. It's kind of like an enchantment version of Shock. It's a little bit more expensive because it kind of has that mid-game ability to sacrifice it and do a little scrying. Again, you want to be able to control a little bit of what's coming out of your deck so you can make sure that you can get the right cards you need. Rimrock Knight is so good. It is a common card that is commonly found, if you'll allow me a little bit of a pun here. This card is found in the A1, Tier 1, top tier Mythic level red decks. That's how good this card is. You will find this card in Mythic decks. That's how good it is. I still think it's in play in some of the mono red Mythics. Boulder Rush is an amazing instant to give +2 into the end of turn to somebody, especially if you're really aggroing out, especially if you're really pushing the tempo. And then, of course, a very aggressive 3/1 going in there, especially when you combine that with Trample or Unblockables or anything like that. When you burn up their blockers, he is extremely effective. Run Amok. This is one of those that I might add even more of these. Run Amok is an amazing Kaldheim card. He also finds his place into some of my Diamond and Mythic and amazing higher level decks, because 3/3 and Trample into the end of turn with an instant for only 2 mana is a ton of utility. You got to figure if you're pushing Rimrock Knight with Run Amok, that's going to be 6/4 going in with Trample. That is an incredible amount of utility for probably only what is turn 3. So a lot of damage can be done with Run Amok. Probably one of my favorite abilities to give Trample to here. One of my favorite cards that gives Trample. Then we have Scorching Dragonfire, which is your basic 3 damage caster right here. The reason I chose this one is because it exiles. Okay, so sometimes you do want a little bit of exile. However, any kind of 3 damager can really fit in this slot for some basic kind of house cleaning. So you could put Frostbite if you wanted to run Snow. Fire Prophecy is a great one. Jaya's Greeting is a great one in case you want some more scry. Fire Prophecy lets you get rid of a card out of your hand and draw a different card. And Jaya's Greeting lets you scry, which of course looks at something else in your hand. And Frostbite is more effective in the with snow lands. I like Scorching Dragonfire just because it exiles it. You don't have to worry about it coming back from the graveyard. Skewer the Critics isn't bad either, but it's historic right now. Most of these are kind of able to play as is. Viashino Pyromancer was another great one that was a very big one in Wizard decks. Is it Wizard decks back in the day? When it enters the battlefield, it deals 2 damage to any target player or planeswalker. It is like a 2/1 Wizard with a built-in shock. You absolutely cannot beat the utility of that. That is amazing utility. Especially with that 2/1. Again, you can put Run Amok, and then he is a 5/4 Trampler on turn 3, and he's already done 2 damage to face. He will absolutely push the tempo in there. Act of Treason is our most expensive card here. You gain control. It's very simple. You gain control of a target tapped creature, untap it, and it gains haste until the end of turn. If they have a very powerful creature that you want, in the late game, this is kind of our mid and late game defense, because we're very aggro in the early game. So this is kind of our late game defense here. When they have a powerful creature out, a fly or something that we can't block, we just grant this one. We just grab this one, we grab them with Act of Treason, and we rush in. I have 20 mountains in here. Very cheap deck. If we want to look overall, it's a 1.6 average. We could probably get away with even less. If you want to look at some other lands to put in, there really isn't much. You could put Desert of the Fervent. That's historic. That doesn't really count too much. But there really isn't too many other lands that have that much utility overall that you could put in there. You could probably get away with 19, but I never like to be land stuck too badly. Especially when we need to push the tempo. You can start with a little bit of card draw. You can start pushing things a little faster. So very fast with 1.6 average. 22 creatures, 10 instants, 4 sorceries, 2 artifacts, and 2 enchantments total. the mana curve is very, very fast on this one. I exited it too quickly. And here you go. Very, very 1, 2. We only have 1, 3. 1, 4 of these 4 drops here. So really, really fast, aggressive. The definition of red. A very nice introduction to red and to Magic itself. I'm gonna cut now to some games that I played earlier. Show you 2 wins and a loss. You can learn a lot from the losses, but I can show you how it performs. Very, very cheap deck. I don't know what the actual price is. But if somebody really wanted to get started in Magic, again, I can reiterate, this is a great deck to go and buy and order because it's probably very, very cheap. So I hope you have fun with it. I'm going to cut to Pass Jay, who's going to play through these games. Until then. All right. Pauper is a very interesting format. Pauper is, in my opinion, probably one of the best ways to get introduced to Magic. If you want to see if that you want to like it, give your buddy, have a Pauper deck for you and your buddy. Seems like a lot of people have my same idea. Get a Pauper deck for you and your buddy, and you'll be able to see what you guys want. Common only. Yes, common only with Pauper. Nice, epic. Nice, sounds epic. It's a great way to introduce people to Magic. Great, great way. Paxam. What is up, Paxam? Archivid. Yeah. Archivid. Archivid. No blocks. I don't ever think they should do it in rank, but I don't know. I don't know why they specifically keep stuff out of ranked sometimes, like why they keep queues away from us sometimes when people would play them. I guess they're worried about matchmaking issues. Why they don't make a permanent historic brawl queue that people would play. I think they're worried that that would draw people away. I don't know. Frostbite, very good. There we go. Is I think that may be the main issue. They don't want to have too many queues. I'd love to know what numbers they're doing. I had heard that they're running 2 million active players global. I don't know if that's true. That may be fanciful. I wouldn't be surprised if it was 1 million daily active users. Oh, does he have the clutch? Does he have the last card he needs to finish me off? He does not. And we get to hit him with his own guy. No, he doesn't want it. Okay, he didn't want it there. He didn't want to take it. Let's claim a prize. Let's see what we got here. Dream Trawler. Actually decent. If it wasn't going to rotate out soon, it'd be pretty decent. Nobody likes best of 3, man. Despite certain people's insistence that that is the real way to play Magic. Which is, if you know me at all, I take serious umbrage with. Serious umbrage with. Ooh, I don't like that. It still bothers me to this day. Somebody was like, you're playing early in my YouTube. I'm like, this deck, it does really good. And they were like, this is standard best of 1. Best of 3 is the real way to play Magic. Man, I can't stand that gatekeeping shit, man. Cannot stand it. Hey, look, it's Mesa Lynx. We're going to have to say goodbye to Mesa Lynx. We hardly knew ye. Good to see you, Mesa Lynx. It's nice. Nice to know you. Being able to sideboard is nice. It just takes too much time, man. It just takes up way too much time. Just eats up time like crazy. That's all. Let's see, I got a lot of tricks for this guy. Prowling Felidar. Okay. Cat. He's running a white cat. Whenever land enters the battlefield. My turn. Okay. There we go. Yeah. Tanuki has been running red deck wins for 25 years, so he does not have the patience. He's trying to make his games last about 40 to 50 seconds is what he's looking for there. That's about how much his attention. Your average red deck wins player has he's got about a 30 seconds in his brain before it starts moving on to something else. So, you know, they gotta really push the tempo with RDW. You know what I mean? They can't be sitting around for 5, 10, 20 minutes. He's gonna be vibrating, man. He's gonna be he's not gonna be able to tolerate that. There we go. We don't need that. And push. I'll play best of 3 in paper. That's a different beast altogether. Because generally people, if you're playing friendly, generally people aren't going to salt rope you. You can play pretty quick if it's your buddies. So I'll play best of 3 in paper. That's fine. That's fine. Oh, 8 damage. Oh, 8 damage. Good one, man. Fun little cat tribal there. Fun little cat tribal. I don't much care for in-paper ranked play. I had a DCI number at one point. Lawful Stupid Paladin. What is up, Lawful Stupid Paladin? Love that name, man. How you doing? We actually have somebody called Northern Paladin here. So we got a lot of Paladins here. No problem with that, man. I usually play Paladins. If I'm playing an RPG of any kind, that's usually what I like, is Paladins. It's usually what I run. Vanilla Ow. You played Vanilla WoW? Yeah, I remember when WoW came out. You want to know how old I am? I remember when WoW first came out, and Paladins were probably the worst thing you could possibly play. They were broken. They just did not work. But I love playing Pallies. Very fun. Alright, let's get this, what do we got here? Yeah, we don't need those 2 mountains. We're going to need something else besides that. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Oh my god. So, the name Roburn Black was the paladin that I played in Wrath of the Righteous, and he was so ridiculously broken. The amount of damage that he put out was, if you know D&D, right? You know that a great sword does 2d6, right? Plus strength. I was doing thousands of points of damage to people with this paladin, man. Thousands. It was ridiculous. It was utterly, utterly ridiculous, the amount of damage I was doing with my pally. Nobody could. I was killing Baylors left and right and tanking the damage. That didn't matter. There was no stopping me. The DM hated me. All right, he's gonna take damage. Boof. And then we put this guy down, and then we go boof, and then we go boof, and then we pass the boof. Uh-oh, that wasn't a great idea. Two-E bullshit? No, it was a Pathfinder, Wrath of the Righteous. So, my strength, they introduced something that completely broke it, and I figured out a little hack for it. So they did something called the Advanced Character Guide, and the Advanced Character Guide, what that did was, okay, he's just gonna kill himself here. We just hit ping. Poof. There we go. Obi Shinobi, what is up, man? Anyways, the advanced character guide, they had a thing called Blood Rager, which was Barbarian and Sorcerer combined. Oh, lore hold command, cool. And Barbarian and Sorcerer combined. The thing is you got a Barbarian's Rage called Blood Rage, and it combined, you had basically a bloodline just like a Sorcerer that added bonuses to your Rage. So I chose like Demonic Blood Rage, and it had no character restriction on it, no alignment restriction, so it cross-classed it with Paladin. So I had a Paladin going into Rage and smiting. So I would smite, go into Rage, and then use a two-handed weapon, activate Holy Sword, and I was nuking people. I was doing triple crit damage. I was doing ×3 damage on 17 to 20 rolls. And then my sword had a special ability called Foe Biting, which doubled the total amount of damage after criticals. So I was doing 300, 400, 500 points of damage, and then I could spend like rounds of Rage, burn them up, and to double the amount of damage I was doing. So if there was a boss, I just walked up to him, Rage, Smote, and nuked him. Because if you were fighting an evil outsider, an undead, or a evil outsider, undead, or there was 3 things. Evil outsider, undead, or something else. You added twice your character level to damage when smiting, and your charisma bonus to attack. So twice my character level at 10 was 20. My strength was like a 26 because I was raging, and I was using a two-handed weapon. And I was smiting. So, I mean, it was just so broken, bro. It was just, I mean, I just walked up to dudes and just smite Rage. I mean, just a nuke went off. All right, that was a fun little excursion into Friday Night Historic. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did with our fun little new deck city here. And, of course, a little trip down memory lane and to why I'm called Roburn, why I chose that name. Very fun.